welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie, also known as Clean Coach Katie, and I'm joined by...
James.
Yeah, well done. Did good.
Got my lines right.
So, number one, can you spot a difference this week compared to our last video? Our last video was a trainer review on the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent and the Nike Infinity Reacts. Went down well. A few people have said they've bought the Reacts since, which is good. And this video, we recently both treated ourselves to a pair of New Balance. We've done a few runs in them now. We've done some easy runs. We've done a long run or two, maybe. You might have done two in yours. And we've also done a speed session each in them. So yeah, we're just going to talk through them and tell you our thoughts. So me, we purchased different. So I went ahead with the Fresh Foam 1080 V10s, and James bought himself the
New Balance FuelCell TC.
Nice. So excited, James? What have you got?
Buzz in. Got some New Balance FuelCell TCs. Which is the newest New Balance carbon fibre plate shoe. Pretty sexy, eh?
First thoughts?
Good. Bright in the sunshine, aren't we? Nice. Relatively light. Very soft foam. Nice to try them on feet shortly.
We're going to start off with the 1080s. So the title of them is New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V10. Now, James has been educating me a lot on shoes recently, and for the 1080, the 80 actually stands for a neutral shoe. So this means that anything with an 80 in it that New Balance do is neutral. So that's what I first learned about these. In terms of weight, they're 238 grams, and also the men's are heavier than the ladies.
It's because they're bigger.
I guess so, but I bought a size 7.5. So I've said before, I go up a size in most shoes, but New Balance I go up a size and a half. So 7.5. They have an 8mm heel drop. So again, for anyone that's not very shoe knowledgeable like me, the heel drop is the difference between the back and the front. So obviously a 0mm heel drop would be a flat shoe, and then the further up the heel goes is the heel drop. Obviously a flat...
More aggressive the bigger the drop.
Obviously the flatter it is, it's more of a racing flat, but the higher it is, obviously there's more support and cushion. As well, for people that don't know, so the bottom is the outer sole, this bit here is the midsole, and then up here is the upper.
Can you tell Kate's been doing her learning this week?
I've been getting myself knowledgeable. So we'll start on the bottom. This is sort of like rubber, but James has showed me that some of the midsole is also featured in the bottom as well.
So it's not a fully exposed midsole, it's probably 80% covered by the outsole, so it's going to have quite a long durability. There's a little bit of the midsole exposed just here, but essentially that's going to be where your foot's not striking the ground too much.
It looks quite wide, and especially from the top as well, as you can, because you can see the outsole, but underfoot I feel it felt quite grippy. I read that apparently it's quite good in wet conditions. We haven't run in the rain in them yet, but so in terms of grip, it's meant to be quite good.
Do you feel stable in them?
Yes, very. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm going to fall over.
Which is a pro when running.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously then the midsole is the Fresh Foam, which is the technology that New Balance have within. So the foam goes all the way from, is it like a foam?
All the way, that's the foam. The whole midsole.
The whole midsole. So there's nothing in there like a carbon plate, no. Like the and it actually feels quite spongy. Does that add anything to it?
Yeah, so if it's spongy, if it's going to sink into it, so it's going to give it a nice plush feel. Is it responsive? Do you bounce back out of it, or I'm guessing not so much of this shoe, it's an everyday shoe.
No, it didn't. I've not felt bouncy, but they feel very comfy.
Cushioned and comfy.
Yeah, very comfy. Very, very comfy. And obviously today we went, well...
But you know, they're not designed for pushing and snapping back off.
No, we did go out for a interval session today, and I kind of forgot they were on my feet, if that makes sense.
They were on our feet.
Which is kind of good, because they just... my feet just moulded into them. But one thing that I did feel like that I didn't get the energy response back from them, which I kind of get in some of my other sort of like more racing type shoes because often I go out and do sessions in a different shoe, and I did notice that my legs were probably feeling the fatigue of the intervals when maybe in another shoe they wouldn't. So that's probably the only thing, is maybe I'm not going to go out and do lots of speed sessions
but that's
in
not
them.
what they're designed for, are they?
No, exactly, but obviously that's why we did the test. So moving on to the upper, it's a hypo knit, which is what New Balance call this material. As well, like in terms of the design, it's quite I quite like it. This was the only colour that was available. I bought them via sportshoes.com, and there wasn't many other colours available, so obviously there's some quite nice like jazzy colours like pastels and stuff, but I think that these are quite classic, and after I've like probably worn them like running wise, I can wear them just out and about, which isn't something you can normally do with most running trainers.
Quite breathable, did you say, as well?
Yeah, so quite breathable. So they've got lots of like holes up here, and I just find that my feet feel really nice in them. They're a bit quite roomy. So at the top, because it's quite a flexible structure, I'd say at the top, your feet can move around, so they're not too closed or encased. But yeah, I've just really
it's quite elasticy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably the right word. And I've just really enjoyed them, if I'm being honest. As soon as
Do you get good lockdown in them? Do you feel secure?
Yeah, I feel secure. The only thing is probably on the inside, that if you are due to sort of maybe... I know these are a neutral shoe anyway, but if you are due to sort of like any movement here, the midsole goes in here.
In the arch?
Yeah, in the arch. So sometimes I have...
A bit of a rub on the arch.
Yeah, but not... You just have to make sure that obviously...
Okay, we'll see how that sort of beds in over the miles.
Yeah, you just have to make sure that your form is right. But in terms of like just the actual run, like I've really enjoyed them. As soon as I put them on, they just... New Balance, I've always found that the first few runs I've just instantly really enjoyed them. Whereas compared to sort of like the Infinity React, it took me a couple of runs to get used to them. The only thing that I would say is that New Balance have a... What tongue did you call this earlier?
It's gusted.
A gusted tongue. So it's attached. So most other like Nikes... Well, to be fair, that's the Infinity Reacts is the same kind of thing. But other shoes, their tongue is like a bit more loose. So the only thing that I have found is that I have, anyway, quite a high... What's that at the top of your foot?
Foot.
The arch, but it's not the... It's like the upper arch.
Medial, I guess.
Yeah, that just is quite high. So at first on the left side, I felt like my laces were too tight, but it was just my foot getting used to them, I think. So yeah, they're just meant to be. So speed test, I wouldn't go and run loads of interval sessions in them, but just in terms of like...
But if you were out and you picked up the pace, you could do a tempo in them if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Not the best shoe for it, but they'll do it, yeah?
Yeah. I did some strides in them last week, and they were good for that. But I've just, in terms of easy runs and long runs, they felt great. So
they're your new go-to everyday shoe, are they?
Yes, I'm going to rotate those with the Infinity Reacts. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I really do like these. So if you are a New Balance fan, you will love them.
A lot different to any New Balance you've had before, aren't they? Nothing like the 14 or 1500s. A lot more of a solid shoe.
No, because like they're just so thin compared to the 14 and 1500s. But no, my foot has just felt like a bit of like a glove with these. So yeah,
nice.
Very much enjoyed these. So I will, because we've had the Fresh Foam Zanti before.
Yeah. And
they are much better than those.
I think they're a different grade of Fresh Foam, aren't they? These are a lot softer. The Zantis are a bit...
I think we bought 2 pairs. The first pair I got on with, and the second pair I didn't get on as well well with, but I think it took me a longer time to wear them in, because I think afterwards I did enjoy them again. But yeah, I've really been loving these shoes, and it's a bit of a toss-up between those and the Infinity Reacts, because they're quite similar.
Yeah, both sort of got that rocker on them, haven't they? Both want to encourage you to run well.
But I just,
well supported,
I feel like
similar uppers as well, actually.
I just feel like they, I think it's just the material, it's a bit more elasticy, so I think that's what gives it the more comfortable feeling.
You heard it here, guys. Katie likes elastic.
Okay, right, let's move on to
so
James's FuelCell
TC. Obviously carbon fibre plate shoes are all the hype at the moment. So New Balance have brought out the TC, which stands for Training Companion, which essentially is the training companion to what will be their premium racing shoe, the RC, when that comes out at some point in the summer or whatever, which is quite good. So obviously
is there any carbon plate in this one?
Full length carbon plate in this one.
There is, oh, okay.
So the stick that carbon fibre plate shoes can get in at the moment is that they don't last for very long. If you look at the Endorphin, which is said to only do about 70 miles. The Vapor.
What's that one? The Endorphin?
Yeah, Saucony one.
Oh, Saucony, sorry, I didn't know that brand.
The Vaporfly said 150 miles. We have to see. So this one is your training companion to that. So this is supposed to last longer, be more durable, but give you that edge, that carbon fibre. So it's, as it says, it's a training and competition. It is a training shoe, but it could lend itself to running. So where it would let itself down in a battle versus, say, the Vaporfly, you kind of have to remember it's a training shoe. So any of its drawbacks it has come back to the positives that it will have as we'll go through. So starting from the top, I guess, quite a solid heel cup. Quite plush, quite a bit of cushioning in there. Feel nice and secure, nice and snug in there. Lockdown at the top. Very simple lacing, very simple tongue system, but does the trick.
You've got the Gusted.
Gusted.
I was thinking of Gusto like this.
It's a detached tongue just at the bottom.
Oh, I thought most New Balance were.
Depends.
I guess, yeah.
I think a lot of people do that. I think
might be the fresh
a brand does this or a brand does that. Like, the reason they have different shoes is because of variety. Otherwise, they just have one shoe. Suede all around the collar and down the eyelet chain. Then you've got a synthetic mesh upper. Once again, very simple design. It's light, it's breathable. If anything, it's a bit similar to the Pegasus 36 sort of upper. It does its trick. It's there. But then comes down to the magic, which is in obviously the midsole and the outsole. So it's their FuelCell midsole. It's quite a lot of it. So we've got 30 mils at the back, 20 mils at the front, 10 mil drop. Then on the bottom here we've got pretty full rubber on the top and two little rubber plates on the heel, similar to the Vaporfly. Aesthetically pleasing, they're nice. They come in at 280 grams, so once again...
I thought you were going to say 280 pounds then, I was like, what?
No, 280 grams. So as a racing shoe goes, they're not light, but they're not heavy either. So on foot, they're nice, they're really nice. So you get the full benefit of all this cushioning. So you put your foot in, and anyone who's wore like a Vaporfly or something similar, you'll know that sort of sinking, cushioning feeling, which is just beautiful. Without the carbon fibre plate, that would probably be quite nasty because there'd be no energy return, but it balances really well, so you get in that sort of soft landing, you're coming down, and then you're getting propelled straight back forward. The carbon fibre plate and the soft cushioning really, really, really work well together in this shoe. It rides really similar to the Vaporfly, but not quite as well as that. But you're going to get another 150 miles out of this at least, I think.
Yeah, so what about, like, compare it to the different runs, because you've done easy runs, a long run and speed. What?
So this is basically as the training companion, it's targeted at your long runs and your speed work. So I've done a long run of 16 miles in, and honestly they were fine. With the Vaporfly, when you're going a bit slower, they feel sloppy, and anyone who's worn them will know what I mean by that. You don't get that in these because there's that little bit more structure to the shoe, and there's a little bit more going on with it, which obviously adds to the weight, this, that and the other. So what you're sacrificing in weight, you're getting for comfort. So, you know, weigh it up what the use of the shoe is for. Good. No sort of fatigue and great recovery after that run. I've done 2 sessions in them now, and they're great. They really focus you on sort of getting up onto your form, pushing your foot forward and driving your knee, similarly to what you do in the other carbon fibre plates. And once again, on the tempo I did last week, they just feel like they flow very nicely. Turnover's nice, ground contact is minimal. Unlike you, I have run in the wet in mine, and the grip was perfectly fine. So, I mean, it's not an over the top, like there's no ridges or anything, it's quite a smooth grip pattern, but it works. It makes me really excited to see what New Balance are going to do with the RC. This is a great training shoe for going fast. My nearest comparison would be, it's like a plush or luxurious turbo. If anyone's wore the Nike turbos, they'll understand what I mean by that. I've wore a pair of the Zoom Flies as well, and I would rate these a million times better than Zoom Flies. So, thumbs up from me for this one.
When are you going to wear those then? Now, so, obviously, you probably won't be wearing them as much as what you have been recently, just to test them out. But what run?
No, I don't necessarily feel these need to come out onto a long run unless I'm going to start doing sort of session work, long runs, or like speedy bits at the end. Just because I've got shoes that do that, and I don't need to put these through the miles. I need to sort of
save them,
look after this cushioning, be nice to it. But these will be my go-to tempo and session shoes now.
Cool.
So,
heard it here.
That's it.
What are you going to then use for your long runs? Your Nikes in Infinity Reacts?
Infinity Reacts, or my Pegasus, or I think I'm going to try out the Asics Nova Blast next. So.
No, that's it. I've got him doing trainer reviews, and he wants to buy all of the trainers now.
Yeah, because I didn't like buying trainers beforehand. So.
Yeah, you did. Just an excuse. So there we are. We haven't actually spoken about price.
Oh yeah, okay, so the TC's coming at £180. So it's a top end premium shoe. Yet it's the cheaper of the carbon fibre plate options. Similar to what we said about the Vaporfly last week, if you want to spend money on them, it's what you want to spend the money on. £180, that might be someone's racing shoe. That might be that, which these can turn their hand to, but I think they're going to do themselves well, because I think they're going to last the miles, so they're going to be a great training shoe.
Yeah. These, the Fresh Foam 1080s, these retail at £130. I didn't pay that because, like we said in our last video, most...
there's always different promo codes out.
Yeah, there's discounts, and I think I bought these over the weekend of the London Marathon weekend. Sports shoes were doing 26% off. So, there we go.
Do the maths.
Do the maths. Yeah, but there we are. So, Fresh Foam 1080s, a very good cushioned shoe for to absorb the everyday miles. So these are going to be rotated in my collection, and the...
Smash these on for your session. The New Balance FuelCell TCs.
There we go. So compared to Nikes, what are your thoughts? Like, obviously we've just done some training reviews on Nikes. And
well, I wouldn't compare them to the Infinity Reacts. It's a totally different shoe.
No, but I just mean like...
It would be the understudy to the Vaporfly, but essentially it is the understudy to the RC, so I think it just fits in nicely to where it's meant to be.
You're very much... you've always worn Nike, haven't you? A lot. Well, you have tried a few New Balance when I introduced you to them, but... And
Adidas. So going to try the Nova Blast will be different, because I've not had a pair of Asics for a long time.
Interesting. There we go. So yeah.
Not brand biased though.
So thank you everyone for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed another...
thrilling instalment.
Yeah, and I now know a bit more about trainers.
We'll see how this goes along.
So yeah, thanks for watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next video coming soon.